And I also had some challenges with my heart. I had heart arrhythmia and high blood pressure, and Susanna said, yes, we can do things for that, and it has proved to be true. So, and what they seemed to offer overcame my resistances, and so I just decided to go for it, and I'm so happy that I did. It's really fun. Well, my heart arrhythmia is a lot more even, and that's just from the breathing exercises. I've lowered my blood pressure. And as far as the program is concerned, it is so deep and takes you so much further than you ever thought you were going to go. And to think that I have another whole year left of that, it just moves me in my heart, because it's just the support from the community, the support from IMU, the support from Susanna and Paran, and the support from everybody else is just, it just fills your heart. And my classmates, I just can't say enough about my classmates and what they've done for me and how they've helped me on my journey. And I've never been really vulnerable, but the real thing that I've learned in IMU is how to be vulnerable and to open my heart. And when I open my heart, it strengthens me. And I've had revelations, and you get ideas from meditations, and it is just such a full course. I cannot imagine. I don't think anything else, there's nothing else in the world like it. It's really unique. And it's going to resolve so many of your problems. And in heart meditation, we talk about our wounds that we have from childhood. And I've done a lot of work, on releasing and clearing and everything else. But the wounds that came up, during this first year and that are resolved, and it just frees you, and it makes you just so much, you feel so much better, and you're so much more solid. And to watch my classmates on how much they've grown and it just flowered, it's a beautiful experience. Well, do it. Is all I can say. I mean, you'll be so happy that you did. If you have any spiritual inclination, or if you want to help with your health, or you just want to find out who you are, I mean, we have everybody in our class, from beginners to somebody that's meditated for 45 years, and we're all just together like that in this and helping each other on the journey. And as we go along, it's really heartwarming, and it's beautiful, and I just can't say enough about it.
So I've completed 2 years of IMU, and it took me 2 years from starting to participate in the public courses and mentoring and starting to meditate to get me ready for IMU. And now I've done 2 years of IMU. Okay. My experience with raising one child is that it requires a tremendous amount of self-confidence, and I want to say, trust in God, basically, because there's all these ups and downs when you're raising a child. And 1 minute they're happy and they don't want to do their work because school's going to be canceled tomorrow, and why should I bother? So they're like way, way, way up too tall. And then the next minute their friend didn't sit with them and life is over. So it's like it requires a parent, I think, to give a stability that comes from within. And I didn't really have anything like that. But when I got into the university, it went so much deeper. And instead of having to act as if all the time, which requires a lot of discipline, it's coming from a deeper place of, I actually do know that everything is going to be okay. And that instead of saying a lot to my son about it, he can just look at me and remember. Like, does anyone have a mother? Right? I'm not making this up, right? It's extremely seductive when you're the mom to give up your entire life and not have a life of your own. So it was a way for me to have, and I'm working 9 to 5, so it's not, but still, when it's your kid, it's just so easy to lose perspective and balance. So this was giving me something really interesting to do that was calming me down and giving me that confidence, that bedrock of confidence. So I was able to, when I did put my mind on the college process, use my intuition better, use my, when I had to say, you'd be like the night before, I'm not going, I don't want to visit that school, blah, blah, blah. I would say, we signed up for it. Your dad took a day off of work. You're going. And that's not something I could have done without doing the daily meditation practices, without having the experiences I got in IM, the peacefulness and the sense of grounding. I couldn't have parented that way. I have a busy, stressful job. I'm a dentist, and I see about 12 to 14 patients in a day. And it can get very intense because people bring a lot of emotion with them to the dentist's office. And I'd always been like kind of on the good side about that, like as far as empathetic and sweet, and people like, I know how to do that. But this brought it to like a whole nother level where people would just come in the room and start saying comments like, I always feel better when I walk in here. I mean, this is the dentist's office. People say, I'm glad I finished all my fillings. Somebody with like 12 fillings had to come back like every week for 12 weeks. And she at the end, she said, I'm really glad to be done with my fillings, but I'm going to miss coming here. Wow. And I would hear that many times during the day, much more so after I started the university than before, that people were just getting a lot of sustenance around being around me, which is what I always wanted from my career. It's not, what interested me is that I get to sit with people up close and I get to work with them to do something that's emotionally difficult, to open your mouth and let somebody be in your mouth and in your space and all that kind of stuff. So that's been one of my life goals, and the university has really helped me bring that to a richness and a fullness that is really beyond what I would have ever anticipated. Yesterday I was sitting in class and looking at all my classmates and thinking, like, these are not the same people that they were even a year ago, a year into it, and certainly not when I met them. And it's not that I'm just seeing more sides to them than I could see at first because people are shy. It's like there's just so much more to all of us that I wish that we could start at the beginning and do it all over again. So like, not only would I recommend it to anyone that has a sincere desire to see what more their life could be, but I'm like ready to sign up and do it again myself. I mean, that's
It's a tremendous commitment. You're going to give 2 years of time and effort and a lot of spiritual energy to this process if you decide to attend IMU. And I very much wanted the spiritual growth and development that I knew I could get with it. I spent 6 days in the hospital in 2007 because of heart issues. I had an irregular heartbeat. And in that whole time, they finally decided I didn't have anything life-threatening, because I didn't think that I was really doing anything about it. I was just doing heart rhythm meditation just like everyone else was. But the very first seminar I went to, they brought their heart monitor with them, the M-Wave. And I went on the monitor and I was absolutely humiliated because the curve, it shows a curve of your breath and heartbeat. And my curve was incredibly irregular, up and down and jagged and really, really awful. But the next time they came to do that was 3 years later, and mine was perfectly smooth. Absolute sine wave. Well, it was a big affirmation and a big confirmation that I'd been using the practice as well and that they worked. About a year after that, the cardiac doctor that had seen me in the hospital dismissed me. She said, you've had so many good readings, I don't have to see you anymore. Spiritual work and spiritual growth is never straight line. It's always up and then down and then up and then down. And so I can't say that I've had a straight line, whoa, it's been great from one moment to the next. Because when you really do spiritual growth and spiritual investigation, if you will, of yourself, you learn things you don't particularly like, and you have to overcome those things. You overcome things that may have happened that formed you as a child, and you begin to move into a new reality where that's not really as important because you've dealt with it finally. And so it does go up and down like that. But right now where I am, I'm at a really, really good place. I have been through a lot of struggles, and I have come to the place of really living from my heart. I would absolutely. If you have a desire for spiritual growth and self-understanding and for a stronger relationship to the One, then yes, absolutely. The university is unlike any other experience I've ever had. It is even though it's done across the sea and across the countries, because we have people from Korea and from Great Britain and from the United States, we're bound together by this experience. Much of it is through computer, WebEx, but we're just bound tightly together by the heart of this experience. And we do meet each other. We come together for residencies and so on. But that's been an incredibly powerful experience.